It is. We better get out of here. Oh, and you know the drill, right? Yeah. Hi. It's nice to see you again. Yeah, same to you.
Mommy, come here.
Hold on, I'm coming. Alright, what is it you want me to see?
Watch this.
I'm watching. Hey, don't do that! You're gonna hurt yourself.
I'm fine, Mom. I've done this thousands of times.
FBI, open up!
Honey, would you be happy if I got you jewelry for Valentine's Day? Aw, nothing would make me more happier. Sweetie, happy Valentine's Day. Where's the jewelry? When I asked you if you wanted that, you said nothing would make you happier. Miss, I finished the work. The work. Oh my gosh, I'm calling 911. Hey, no phones in class. But he just passed out.
Mom, this new show just came out on Disney Plus and it looks so good.
We don't have Disney Plus.
I know. Can we get it, please?
No, we already have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and whatever else we have. We don't need another.
I knew you would say that. It says there's a 7-day free trial. Can we get that?
If it's free, then go ahead, but you're not getting my credit card.
Yes!
We just got here. I've only put one thing in the cart.
Mom, are you almost done?
We're about halfway done. Alright, this is the last thing. Now let's go pay.
Yes! I can't wait to get home.
Wait a second. Is that Carla? Hi, Shelley. Long time no see. Five People Who Beat the System Part 5. At this resort, you're not allowed to have drinks by the pool. So they made a massive straw and left the drink on their balcony. This guy said his name was Mark, spelled with a C. So instead of changing the K to a C, they changed the M to a C. The teacher told them they could only have a one-sided cheat sheet. So this student taped the paper to make both sides one side. This guy's girlfriend told him to wear a plain tie. So he sent her this picture of a tie with planes. Now before I show you the smartest one, I found a really addicting app that lets you create games to play with your friends, and also play millions of other games created by other players. Just press a button on my profile to get it. Finally, this town wasn't allowed to have a statue so close to the road, so they put a flag in it to make it a flagpole. She didn't know she had cancer until she was on live television. Nicole McGinnis wanted a house near the beach. She even went on the TV show called Beach House Bargain Hunt. On the show, she looked happy about the house hunt with her dad, but if you look at her closely, you could see a small bump on her throat. Dr. Eric Void was watching the show at home. He's an ear, nose, and throat surgeon. He said that he felt obligated to let her know that she had something in case she didn't already know, because as an expert in the field, he felt concerned for her. He used social media to try try and reach out to her, and it ended up getting back to her family. She immediately went to the doctor and was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. She got to meet the doctor who reached out to her, and as of December 24th, 2020, she reached the 5-year mark since her cancer was removed. This dad told 911 that his baby choked on milk, but then they figured out what really happened. One day, this single mother asked her ex-husband if he could watch their child named Xavier while she went back to work for the first time since she had the baby. Her ex kept texting her all day about how annoying Xavier was being. She told him to just push through for the day, and she would find a babysitter for next time. Then at 2:30 in the afternoon, she got another text from him, saying that Xavier had stopped breathing because he had choked on milk, and that they were going to the hospital. She then packed up from work and rushed to the hospital too. The doctors did a CT scan and found out that Xavier was bleeding from inside his brain. Then she was shocked when the police arrived to do interviews. That night, the father was arrested for first-degree child abuse. Xavier was in a coma for 2 weeks, and the doctors told his mom that he might be blind, he might not be able to move, and he might not be able to speak. 3 months later, he so far wasn't diagnosed with anything, but to try and prevent anything bad from happening in the future, his mom started taking him to a bunch of different therapists. The scariest things caught on live TV. During a live news broadcast in Hungary, one of the guy's glass of water moved on its own. They were both stunned, but they played it off like nothing had happened and continued the show. In Peru, these hosts were with a crowd of people at a beach that's known for UFO sightings. The broadcasters didn't think that they would see anything, but then everybody noticed an object in the sky. They all started pointing their laser pointers at it, and it seemed to respond. Now before I show you the craziest one, I found this fun word game that has 3 different game modes. But my favorite is the one where it gives you a word, then you have to guess a word related to that word, then another word related to that word, and so on. And you can get it by pressing the button on my profile. Finally, after an interview, this UK politician was holding a red binder. But when he walked past this vehicle, it changed to green. 2 prison guards who were saved by inmates. In this footage from 2015, 17-year-old Jamal Lutridge is being processed at Fort Lauderdale Police Department. As the officer is booking the teenager for burglary, he gets a pain in his chest and collapses onto the floor. The boy looks around and realizes they're alone, so he starts yelling and kicking on the door to get some help, and ended up saving him from a potentially deadly heart attack. They even had a ceremony to honor him. Inmates from a jail in Georgia were at a cemetery watering the plants and cutting the grass. As the day went on, the guards started to hyperventilate due to the heat and collapsed, leaving the prisoners there without any guards. They could have easily ran away, but they didn't. 6 of the prisoners rushed immediately to help the guard. They took off his bulletproof vest so he could breathe better, and one of them grabbed his phone to call 911. And because they saved a life, all 6 of them got their sentences reduced by a quarter. People who survived the impossible. In 2011, while bungee jumping on the Zambezi River in Zambia, Erin Langworthy suffered an accident that almost cost her her life. Right when she jumped, her bungee cord broke, which caused her to fall all the way into the river where she fought for her life for 40 minutes. Luckily, she only suffered bruises and a broken collarbone. Cecilia Secan was the only survivor of Northwest Airlines Flight 255 in 1987. Only half a mile away from the airport, the plane crashed due to a mechanical malfunction in the left wing. The doctors said they couldn't give an explanation on how she survived, and she doesn't even remember what happened. She fractured some bones in her left leg and got burns on 30% of her body. This guy found 45 rattlesnakes under his house, and you won't believe what he did with them. In 2019, a man started having problems with his cable service. He wanted to see if he could fix the problem himself, so he crawled into his crawl space to see if he could find a loose wire. But then he noticed a couple rattlesnakes, which are fairly common in Texas. But their venom can cause nausea, sweating, blurred vision, and even death. So being in an enclosed area with them isn't the best idea. But it got a lot worse when he noticed there wasn't just 2 snakes, but 45 of them. He immediately got out of there and called Big Country Snake Removal. They then came to his house and took them all out into buckets. The man lived around 40 minutes away from Sweetwater, which is famous for a rattlesnake roundup. They round up over 250,000 rattlesnakes in plastic bins before butchering them. Some people say it helps with rattlesnake awareness, where other people say it should be banned. The festival organizers paid $10 per pound of snakes, so he could have made around $2,700. But instead, he chose to have them delivered to a quiet place and released back into the wilderness. This lady refused to tip the waiter, but didn't realize what she left on the table. Armando dropped off 2 slices of pizza for a lady and a child at their table. Then the lady questioned him on why there is only a few pictures of women on the wall. Since he was just a waiter at the restaurant and had no clue, he jokingly said that maybe women just don't eat pizza much. A few minutes later, he went to check on them, but they were gone. The lady had left the restaurant without paying, and she left him a handwritten note that said, maybe women don't tip too. He felt bad because he didn't realize that his joke had offended her. Then he saw an envelope on the table that had Citibank written on it. So he ran outside to give it back to her, but he couldn't find her. He saw that inside it had a check for $424,000. Since he's an honest man, he didn't cash it and he handed it to his boss. They then tracked her down through the newspaper. Apparently she had that money because she had just sold her house. She apologized to Armando and offered him money for finding it, but he declined. The owner also explained to her that she had missed a wall with lots of pictures of women on it too.